Hey there, I am getting all set up here to give you guys a quick cooking demonstration today. My neighbors are doing construction. I really hope you can't hear all of that. Anyway, so I'm getting ready to do the cooking demonstration for you guys because I think it's really important that you learn some basics and really understand how you can do a lot. You can do a lot in the kitchen that is good for your kidneys. So I am, like I said, getting set up. I want to pull up our page so that I can track the questions that you guys have, because again, I can't see them as I'm doing my live. Okay, so there we go. Okay, I'm all set up. Now, what I have for you today is homemade veggie stock. This is so great in so many reasons, and one of the top reasons I really like is that you're actually using a lot of the vegetable scraps and pieces that normally you would actually throw away and get rid of, which is such a waste. I mean, we can use as much as possible from these vegetables and get more from it and save you money on the way. I mean, how awesome is that? So what I have is my Instant Pot. Now, if you don't have an Instant Pot, that is totally fine. This is, and I'm not even gonna use like the pressure cooking setting today because it's a lot of liquid, which isn't great for Instant Pot. You can, but I'm gonna be doing, I think I'm gonna be doing more than what it recommends. So you can do this on the stove, you can do this in a slow cooker, but this is what I have for today, and I'll explain some of the different ways you can go about it. So Instant Pot is all set up, plugged in, good to go. I also pulled out, I'm really sad I didn't take care of the celery. I just put it in the fridge. I don't know why. I was hustling and just trying to get stuff done, and it's sad now. So this is not really good quality. You can actually stick it in a bucket of ice water, and that can help add some crispness back to it, but it would be more for this part down here. This part, all the leaves, which are so good, they're kind of gone. So I'm gonna add these to the veggie stock. I also have some green onion ends that I'm going to just kind of chop up and use that. And I have some thyme that was sitting in the back of the fridge, and it's all dried out now, so it's no longer fresh. I'm just gonna throw it in there for some extra flavor. And the best part is pull it out of my freezer. This is what we're gonna be using. This is my very packed, very full veggie stock bag. So this is all of the scraps that I have been collecting for the past just a couple of weeks actually. And yeah, this is what we're gonna use. So you can see maybe a lot of it's kind of frozen up. I have a lot of onion in here. I have carrots, I have some potato, a lot of bell pepper pieces, zucchini, shallot. Oh, I have a shallot. This is me live cooking, you guys. Yeah, so a lot of different veggies in here, and I'll open it up to show you. It's literally like when you cut the onion, it's all freezing together now. When you cut the onion and you just want to get rid of like maybe the end or something, that's what this is. That it's and the carrots, if you peel a carrot, like these are the carrot skins. So this is literally the stuff that maybe I was kind of trimming for my food, for the recipe. And yeah, I just kept collecting in here and like literally packing this full until zipping it up was a bit of a challenge. So I'm gonna take all of this and I'm going to add it. I'm gonna add it, you see that's like, well, yeah, you guys can see. I have this, let me tilt it a little bit more this way. There we go. So it is really quite full. And oh, I actually have herbs from before too. So again, just like the end of an onion. So this is really packed full. Actually, I don't know how much more I'm gonna get in here, but I'm going to save this baggie, and I'll probably just cross out the date and write a new date on here, or maybe I won't even label it anymore. I don't know. But I can reuse this, rinse it out, reuse it, and just keep using that as like my little garbage for my veggie pieces. So I'm going to quickly just chop off the ends of the greens. Then I'm gonna rough chop. I'm gonna rough chop all of the celery leaves to make sure that they can kind of fit better into the Instant Pot here. And it's a lot. Celery greens add a lot of flavor, and celery is low potassium. So this is something that's really great. There we go, perfect. This is something that is really great to add more flavor to your stock without adding a lot of potassium. And all of these things, carrots, onions, celery, this is low potassium stuff. These herbs, I love thyme. Thyme is my favorite. Okay, so I added that. The green onions, I feel like that's pushing it. I feel like that is pushing it, my friends. So I've got everything really packed in here. You can see it, right? Yeah, you see that. It's a lot, but it's gonna turn into this really, really good homemade stock. And what I'm going to do after it is done, I'm going to be straining it and putting it into smaller Ziploc baggies or jars, and I'm gonna freeze some of it, and then I'm gonna put some of it in the fridge so I can use it this week. But then the frozen stuff is going to be so helpful for me in my cooking later on. So with that, let me just go in and check here to see if anybody's got any comments, anything to say. I have my water already set aside. I knew that wouldn't be too thrilling for you guys to see me measure or pour out water. So I have that all ready to go. And I am just refreshing, looking for questions or comments. And I'm not seeing any. I'm really happy to see some of you guys in here. If you like this information, if you like this video, can you give me a thumbs up or give me some kind of feedback on if I should be doing this? Because you know, I don't want to be doing this if you guys are like, oh, this is such a waste of both of our time. So let's keep that. Okay, I don't see any comments. I hope that's the case. Okay, so I've got all this all packed, good to go. I'm going to pour in my water. Ooh. So it'll kind of push down. Maybe that'll give me opportunity to add more. Actually, what I'm gonna do too is I'm gonna turn this on to saute, and I'm gonna turn it up. Okay, if you don't have an Instant Pot, I just turned it on saute and I set this timer for 30 minutes. So it's going to bring it up to a temperature hot enough to saute, and then after 30 minutes it shuts off. Actually just changes it to keep warm. This makes a lot. I have two things of water. So you want to add enough water that pretty much everything is submerged, because if it's not gonna add flavor. So everything has to be in the water. So this is pretty good. It's, you know, some things will float to the top just because they're that light, but this is pretty good, and it's pretty full. So it's past the point, it's past the height of the pressure. So this is not an amount that I would do a pressure cooking method for. This is just gonna be the saute and then slow cook. But it's like, that's pretty much it. I am gonna add some salt, but this is lower salt than what you would find in a lot of store brands. I'm gonna add I'm gonna do 3/4 of a teaspoon. This is a 1/4 teaspoon. So less than a teaspoon, and it makes a lot. You guys saw I dumped this whole bowl plus another 5 cups of liquid in here. So this makes a lot. And I'm just gonna kind of push that salt down there. I'm so excited. There's also some roasted garlic in here because I had to take care of that soon. And like even this garlic top, like when you cut off the top of the garlic, I added that. I love garlic. So adding the roasted garlic and the raw garlic in here, plus the thyme, the bell peppers, the onions, the carrots, like it's gonna have so much flavor, you guys. And it's awesome. So what I'm going to do is let this continue to warm up, And once it gets to the point where it's kind of bubbling, then I'm gonna turn it down on low for the slow cooker setting. That's what I really like about the Instant Pot, is that you can change temperatures like this pretty fast. If you were doing this on the stove, I would put everything in a big pot, again, still cover it, like add enough water to where everything's covered, and then bring it up to a boil, and then reduce it down to a simmer. Now you can let it simmer for hours. Like if you feel comfortable stepping away from your stovetop, you can let it simmer for literally like a couple, like 2-3 hours, because the longer you give it like that low time to cook, the more it's going to give a chance to let the flavors come out of the ingredients, and everybody kind of meets each other and gets to know each other. So I really think that's great. What I like about this here in the Instant Pot is that I'm going to actually let it go for probably like 6 or 7 hours, and I'm gonna take care of it tonight. So it is going to be going for a much longer time. And then I will strain everything out, and I'm gonna get some baggies. I'm going to, first what I'm gonna do is pour it, like use this measuring cup, and I'm going to get 2 cups or 1 cup amounts and pour those amounts into the smaller baggies, and then freeze those. You know, make sure it's a freezer Ziploc bag, that it's specified for freezer, and put it in there, lay it flat, try to get out as much of the air as possible to where it's only the liquid. It'll also take up less space that way. And then lay it flat in your freezer if you can. If not, it's fine. It's just easier to store if it's frozen flat, because then it's like a really little thin thing. So that's how you would want to store it in the freezer. And then I always save, you guys might see this on my stories on social media, I save a lot of like my pasta sauce jars, or just other things that I buy. So I'm probably gonna fill this jar up with some stock and keep this in the fridge for when I need to use veggie stock. I like also giving Lucy, my dog, veggie stock. I'll add a little bit of that to her food, her dry food, especially when she's not really crazy about it. If I pour a little veggie stock in there, she eats it up fast. So I really like doing that. Let me go in here and see what kind of questions you guys have, or if you have any comments. Let's see. The live thing on here is kind of challenging, going back and forth. I mean, I've definitely gotten more used to it now that I've been practicing with you guys and been able to do this more. Oh, Dot, okay, it's such a great idea and easy. Never did it before you taught us. I like seeing this in advice on flavor ideas. I'm glad to hear that, Dot. Yeah, we talked about this before, and I know you're like a pro at this. You could probably be teaching this right now, but this is definitely a really easy thing, and yeah, it's great, and you can totally customize it and add the flavors that you want. So with the flavors, like I said, I added the thyme in here, so that's going to be like the primary herb flavor. Then there's garlic in there too. You don't want to add too many, in my opinion. You don't want to add too many different herbs, because they can start to compete with each other. There is a really good website called cukebook.org. I believe it is CUKE book.org, and that is a site that's actually run by a chef who also had a kidney transplant. And he does a lot of kidney-friendly recipes, especially with low salt. And he has a spice blend like page that recommends, like, if you have this spice, this is what it's like, and this is what it pairs well with. So if you wanted to do a few different herbs or seasonings with this, I would say that could be a good resource for you to check out to see what kind of works well together. But for example, I wouldn't do thyme plus basil plus cilantro and parsley. Like, I wouldn't do all of that in one. You might just want to pick one. Parsley would be a really great one to start with, or cilantro, which is Mexican parsley or Chinese parsley, basically. But yeah, I would just start with like 1 or 2 of those, see how it goes, and, you know, kind of take it from there. But this, this is such a great way to get extra nutrients and, again, save money, because veggie stock can be expensive, especially when you look for something that's a little more specialized, like no added salt or low sodium, because they like to profit off of the things that people are looking for their health. So yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. I have some squash and everything in here, and yeah, like I said, I'm just letting this warm up so it heats up from the bottom all the way through. And once that's good to go, I'm gonna turn it onto the slow cooker I think it's a slow cooker. Slow cook, yeah. Slow cook setting. If I had a much lower amount, I could, if it's below the 2/3 line for the pressure gauge, I could do this under the pressure cooking if you were like short on time. But again, it's not as much, and you saw how full my bag was and how much I'm making here. So I'd rather do it this way and make more and then freeze it, and I'll be good to go with stock for quite some time. Okay, so double check one more time because I'm wrapping up. If anybody has any questions on anything. Oh, more comments. Okay. Deb, thank you. I'll be trying this too. Awesome. I'm excited for you to try it out, Deb. And then you'll have to post. If you guys try this stuff, I would love for you to share with the group about what you do and what you create, because this should not just be like me chatting with you guys all the time. Like, I want you all to share your successes and what you've done and what you found that works. And I'm just kind of there in the background to provide ideas or comments or feedback to make sure that it's, you know, good for most people. Can I speak about celery? From Julie. Okay. Celery, I mean, I could talk about, like, I don't know really what you're looking for, Julie, in specifics. Celery is low potassium, and it is a really, really easy vegetable to include in so many dishes because it's not a very strong kind of flavor. It does have some natural sodium to it, which is actually okay for you. So I'd much rather you get a sodium from that kind of source than something else that's highly processed. So the celery, I think, is a really great option to include in your meals, your recipes, and I do give people a lot of recipes and meal ideas with celery in there, like eggless egg salad, any kind of salad like that, or sun butter boats, or a lot of soup or stocks. I will say the whole thing about celery juice, celery cleanse for the kidney, all of that is garbage. Like, sorry, that's not the way our bodies work. Our kidneys are not waiting for celery and then like, oh great, celery's here, I can get clean now. Like, that's not the way our kidneys work. So I'm sorry for the people that are out there promoting that and thinking that that's the way our body works, but it's not. If it actually worked that way, I would probably be out of a job, because why would you need someone to talk about kidney focused nutrition if you could just drink celery juice and be good to go? So celery juice, I don't even know if it's that good. I've never tried it. It doesn't sound appealing to me. Celery is not like my favorite thing, so I would never go out of my way to have it. Hopefully that gives you some information, Julie. If you want to know something a little bit more specific, just if you can send me a message or can drop another comment here in a second, or we can talk more about it later. That's totally fine too. Okay, I'll check again here in just a second. Oh, we've got more comments. Okay, perfect. I wanted to hear about the sodium. Okay, Julie, good. I'm glad that helped. Hey, Barb, good to see you. Yeah, Barb, definitely. You should definitely try this out. This is so easy. I don't know if you jumped on during in the beginning or not, but just a really quick recap for anyone who's jumping on kind of late. I literally had this giant bag of veggie scraps that I've been collecting and keeping in my freezer for about the past couple weeks, and it's been doing really well. I finally got it to the point where it was too full, and that means it's time for me to make veggie stock. So I put everything in here. I topped it off with water, made sure everything's covered with water. I also had some fresh celery that's not so fresh anymore. I'm gonna try to stick this in an ice bath and see if I can revive it. So I added that, and a little bit of salt. I added 3/4 teaspoon of salt to probably 10 cups of water. So it's really, really low in salt. And that is basically it. So Barb, you should absolutely try this. I think it would be great for you, especially with the recipes that we've talked about and the things that you enjoy eating. So this would be a really great base for you guys. Okay. Oh, the cauliflower garlic soup. Yeah, it's so good. Okay, yeah, there is a recipe I've shared with clients within the meal planning the meal planning system I use, and the cauliflower garlic soup. So good, so freaking good. It's roasting cauliflower, roasting garlic, adding veggie stock, pureeing it all together. So delicious. Okay, I will check one more time for any other comments or anything. Otherwise, I think this is good. I hope you guys enjoy learning this, and I'll try to remember to show you the after results. But it's stock, it's veggie stock. Like, I don't think the picture of it's going to be too much of a surprise. But yeah, that's great. What was the website for the Kidney Chef? Oh, okay. The website is cukebook.org, CUKE book.org, and I'm gonna type it in. I'll type it in there because I'm pretty sure that's it. Usually it'll pop up and show you. Yeah, cukebook.org. And then there is a lot of great recipes and resources in there for you guys, so definitely give that a look, okay? Otherwise, I hope to be back here next week, and I'll see about doing something else, cooking demo related, if you guys have any suggestions. I do need to keep these videos to about 20 minutes, which is about where we're at today, so I'm gonna cap it off at that, so it's not gonna be a super crazy, elaborate type of recipe. But if there is something you guys would like to see me do a cooking demo for, just let me know, okay? In the meantime, I'll be around in the background doing things for you, and let me know if you have any questions, all right? Hope to connect with you all soon again.